Well, hello everyone, George Ramble Man here. Hope everybody's doing well on this beautiful November afternoon in North Georgia. Just gassed up with my ethanol-free gasoline at my favorite gas station in Cumming, Georgia racetrack. Obviously the best brand of gasoline out there. I don't know why anybody else would ever even think about going to QT or Exxon or BP. I mean, everybody knows that all real motorcyclists go to go to racetrack. Kind of sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Well, that's kind of my take on this recent controversy between Harley and Indian and this brand bashing that's going on. As I pull out here and get going, a little bit congested here. I got to get out of this mess here pretty soon. Oh, lovely traffic jam. But anyway, this Harley-Davidson and Indian brand bashing thing has reared its ugly head again, and I'm certainly not the first person that's doing a vlog on this. Probably not going to hear anything new or groundbreaking here in this vlog, but I thought I'd just take a few minutes and give my 2 cents worth on this ridiculous controversy going on. I guess it all started when Matt Laidlaw put out the video bashing the new Indian Challenger, saying how much it was just a copycat of the Road Glide, and Indian couldn't come up with anything new, and they lie when they say they're the first American motorcycle company, and just on and on and on. And it's kind of an out of character video for Matt. I'm a subscriber to him. If you don't know who he is, his family owns a Harley-Davidson dealership in Southern California in the Los Angeles area. I'm sure it's a very successful dealership. It's been in his family for years. And he works there. He's in the family business, and so obviously he has a preference towards Harley-Davidson because he has ridden them his whole life. It's his, it's been his family's life. He sells them. I'm sure got an ownership stake in that dealership, so I understand he's he's a Harley guy. Nothing wrong with that. But he put this video out, and most of his videos are pretty good reviews of the various models of Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Now Matt's a big old tall guy, and he doesn't really go for the softail models very much, and some of the smaller ones he likes the big touring rigs, and that's fine. And he has some good reviews. I've watched him for a number of years, and he seems to be he's obviously knowledgeable, and he gives some pretty good reviews of the Harley motorcycle, and I've enjoyed watching him. And he's never really said anything bad about anybody up until this video he put out a couple of weeks ago, where he just really trashed Indian, and he got a ton of negative comments. A lot of them good-natured back and forth, but a lot of them, just kind of ridiculous. I mean, people have brand preferences. I know that. I mean, everybody has preferences in cars and motorcycles, trucks, boats, whatever kind of vehicle you have. But some of the, comments going back and forth were just ridiculous, and people bashing other people and really getting emotional about it and serious about it. And I'll give you my take on it. I don't own a Harley. I don't own an Indian. Never owned either one. May own one or more in the future, but I ride this Suzuki Boulevard, and I guess I'm going to stoke the I'm going to get Suzuki into this controversy. I love the Suzuki Boulevard, and I have no idea why any motorcyclist would ride anything but a Suzuki. It's just beyond me. And for you guys that ride Hondas and Yamahas and Kawasaki's, just you don't even exist to me. Okay, I'm joking. I don't think many people really care too much about, excuse me, what us Suzuki riders have to say. Most Suzuki riders are young sport bike guys anyway. You know, but I love this motorcycle. I mean, it's not a Harley, it's not an Indian, but I love it. So my take on this whole thing, not being the owner of a Harley or an Indian, is it's totally stupid, it's totally ridiculous. The people that are really serious about it, and the people that really bash other people and are mean-spirited towards other people who ride maybe a different brand than they ride. And sometimes I think these people fall into, you know, maybe a couple of different categories. Number one, I don't think they may have ever even ridden the other brand. If they're a Harley enthusiast and they're bashing Indian, you know, my guess is most of them haven't even ridden an Indian. And the same goes for people who bash Harley-Davidson all the time. I really wonder how many of them have ridden a Harley-Davidson. Now, you know, some people bash Harley. They've had Harleys, and maybe they've had, you know, bad experience with them, and I can see where they have the feelings they have. People have strong feelings about brands. That's just the way it is. You know, and I understand that, and everybody has preferences. I understand that too. I mean, my good friend NC Stoney, he's ridden lots of different types of motorcycles, owned lots of different types of motorcycles. He's a fan of Harley-Davidson. He likes the Harley-Davidson. He likes the soft tail. It's a good bike for him. And you know, Stoney and other guys I ride with that ride Harleys, they, you know, they're the same way. They're loyal to Harley, but they're certainly not out there bashing somebody riding a Honda or a Suzuki or an Indian or a BMW or whatever brand it might be. It's, you know, everybody always says, you know, ride whatever you want to ride and it doesn't matter, and they say that, but then you see all these comments on the internet, and I wonder if they really, you know, if they really believe it or they're just saying that. You know, my opinion on bashing anybody or your competitors, I don't think it's very professional. I don't think it's very ethical. You know, I run a little small consulting business, and we have competitors. And if I'm talking to a client or a prospective client, I'm not bashing my competition. I just don't think it's the moral, ethical, or the right thing to do. I'm going to, you know, say all the positive things I want to say about my company and what I can do for them, but I'm not going to just you know, be trashing the competition. Now, if somebody's out there saying bad things about my company, I have the right, you know, to defend myself, defend our company, but you know, I'm not out there starting fights with other, you know, competitors of mine. I just don't think that's very professional, very ethical, and I think Matt doing that with Indian is kind of falls into that category, although in some ways I think he's just kind of a grenade tosser here. He just wants to stir it up and, you know, see what happened, and he certainly stirred up a hornet's nest, no doubt about that. But for the mean-spiritedness out there, I think there's no room for that. You know, if you're riding a different type of motorcycle and you pull into a gas station, a restaurant, a biker bar, or whatever, and you're harassed because of what you're riding, to me that's the height of ridiculousness and childishness, and somebody that's you know, maybe missing a few functioning brain cells. You know, people are going to ride where they want to ride. You know, if you're looking to buy a motorcycle, obviously you can buy whatever you want. I would suggest you ride different brands to see what's out there. You know, some people have different price points. You know, pick out whatever you want and what suits you best. I mean, this Suzuki Boulevard suits me really good right now. I have no reason to get rid of it. Someday I'll upgrade to a different motorcycle, probably the same basic type of motorcycle, but you know, a different brand. I'll consider anything. I'm going to ride them all. I love you. Those of you who've seen some of my videos, you know I love renting motorcycles, and when I'm on business trips if I can, and taking test rides. And you know, I've ridden Harleys, I've ridden Indians. They're both really good motorcycles. Really, all modern motorcycles today are well built, and I don't think there's a tremendous amount of difference in the reliability. You know, there may be some disagreement on that, but I don't think there's anybody out there building a complete piece of junk right now. I just don't think they'd be in business with all the really well-built motorcycles that are out there. You know, another couple things that Matt said I disagreed with. First of all, he said, you know, Indian's not competition to him, or Harley-Davidson. Completely dissed him on that, and I don't think that's right. I think they are competition. I think, you know, obviously their sales numbers wise probably aren't what Harleys are, but they're certainly competition. They're building the same types of, you know, large displacement V-twin motorcycles that people want, and I think some of the things that Indian is doing is driving some of the innovation that maybe Harley is working on. So I think it was wrong for Matt to say they're not competition, because I do think they are. Another thing that you know, he said was that, you know, the Indian just, all they can do is just copy. They can't come up with anything on their own. Well, there are a few features that Indian, you know, probably didn't invent, but they certainly have some features on the new Challenger and some of their newer motorcycles that Harley does not have. You know, LED lights all around, adjustable windscreens on the fairings. You know, these aren't big, huge things. I mean, I wouldn't make a sole decision on whether to buy or not to buy a motorcycle, you know, based on something small like that. But they do have some features that Harley doesn't have, so I don't think it's an exact copy. You know, when a Harley eventually comes out with the water-cooled engines, and they are starting to do that, and you know, the adjustable windscreens, and you know, is Matt going to admit that they copied Indian? Probably not. You know, Harley just came out with these different ride modes now, and traction control, and on their bikes recently. I guess the 2020 models, and it's an option on the touring bikes you have to pay for. But I thought that was a great advance. But you know, the other brands out there have had that for years. So the whole copy thing, I think, is ridiculous. You know, as far as looks go, I mean, there's only so many ways you can build a motorcycle, a touring motorcycle, with a fairing and saddlebags, and they're all going to look somewhat similar. So that's my take on that. In the words of the great Rodney King from Los Angeles, who got beat up by the LA cops, I don't know, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Excuse me. Rodney King said, can't we just all get along? And that's my take on it. You know, there's no need for the motorcycle community to be hateful towards one another. There's enough of that going around in the world that we all enjoy the same hobby, getting out and riding. Whether you're on a Harley, an Indian, a Suzuki, whatever it might be, you know, respect the other person. Live and let live, and let's all get along. All right, it's George, your Rambling Man. Hope everybody has a great week coming up. So long, everybody.